All right, what's up? Here we go. We're live and at it right now. Hashtag Blackout Podcast, episode 198. Jared and Jay in the building.
For shizzle.
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
All right, we're good to go then. Good to go.
Good to go.
All right. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? On today's episode of the Hashtag Blackout Podcast, we get into the Squid Game. What kind of game would you play? What kind of child's game would you play for your life, but for all the money you could never even imagine using, spending, winning? Duck, Duck, Goose. Ooh, I thought about that one. That's a good one. We also get into maybe some villain origin stories, Dave Chappelle's The Closer, and more on today's episode of the Hashtag Blackout Podcast. Pew, 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 pew. Skeet, skeet, skeet. Wow. All right. What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome back, and welcome back again to episode 198 of the Hashtag Blackout Podcast. I'm Jared.
What up, people? I'm Jay.
And we're back at it again. Jay, man, how was your week, cousin?
It was good. Past couple weeks were good, decent. I'm trying to remember. It's all a blur now. Didn't record last week because I woke up with a super splitting headache. But other than that, yeah, it's been good. Trying to use up some of this much needed PTV vacation time from my job.
Yeah.
So, that's is that it? I don't know, man. There's just so much going on. Just dealing with kids, dealing with work, dealing with home life. Yeah, man, that's about it. Can't say much more.
Yeah, understand. Yeah. Oh, hey, make sure to hit record on your.
Snap. Forgot to do that. I'll just You hit. Did you hit record?
I hit record about 20 seconds ago. So, we'll miss the first like 45 seconds or minute. It's okay. But then again, whatever. I know that you could get that audio. You could strip that audio from this video, whenever it posts. So,
okay.
A little rusty, but it's okay. Wow. Yeah. The past couple weeks for me, have been pretty good overall. Even my wife was feeling under the weather this week. So, we're trying to deal with that. Thankfully, it was not COVID for her. It's just seasonal, just funky out here, and it's starting to get cold. I mean, yesterday it rained like pretty good, and looked up in the mountains just a few miles away, and it snowed up at the top of the mountains.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, where my son normally takes ski lessons every year, it was dumping snow yesterday. I mean, it was a couple feet or something like that. So it's pretty crazy, man. It's like
that's crazy.
October. It still feels like it should be warm to me. But other than that,
it's nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah. It's good for y'all finding out some good weather. Other than that, last week we went to Oktoberfest here, which we had done before the pandemic, right? Didn't do it obviously last year with pandemic situation happening, even though I think they still held it, but it was like masks and social distancing, which is sort of weird, but the way that it's set up. But man, it was good. They had it actually at the same ski place that my son takes ski lessons. That's where they have the Oktoberfest here. And last week the weather was perfect. Hung out, did this thing called the Alpine Slide. That's basically like the luge or whatever you want to call it, or the bobsled, whatever you want to call it. And kids had some fun time. They had so they were serving all this German beer or whatever, and they topped it with whipped cream.
Right. And
I was like, beer with whipped cream, like it doesn't it doesn't sound like a dessert combination for me. You know what I'm trying to say? And I'm not like particularly a beer drinker per se. But I tried it, and it actually made the beer taste better than regular beer. So, like, I'm gonna have to buy me a can of whipped cream at home just in case I decide to drink a beer every now and then. But it doesn't happen often, so whatever, maybe not. But anyway, it was a good time. There's a ton of people up there, though. There's a lot of people. No social distancing. A lot of highly unfortunate wardrobe malfunctions as well. Yeah,
Good
yeah.
in a good way or not so good way?
No, not really. I wouldn't say. Um, yeah, no, no. There was a lot. There was a lot of like you know how it is when people trying to fit into stuff that's like three sizes too small for them,
Mm-hmm.
but it's cute, and they finally get to be out around people and not
Yeah,
necessarily around their kids anymore.
yeah.
They're gonna put it on. You know what I'm trying to say? Uh,
It's
yeah,
butts and
there's
guts, huh?
butts and guts. Oh man, speaking of butts and guts, my friend Lyle and I made a comment about the person called Butts and Guts. Um, earlier this week we were chatting back and forth. So, yeah, but hey, man, past couple weeks been good. Just been good pushing this business along, slinging these spices. Shaking it all over the place, getting ready for competition. Yep,
Just kind of
and
shaking competition.
getting ready for a competition. Also getting ready for a barbecue class that's coming up that I'm doing in
That's nice.
11 days. So I probably need to give them the recipes so they can print them out for their people. But yeah, it's good, man. It's good.
It's good. Very good, man.
Yeah. So before we really jump into the episode, we're going to push the voicemails to the end like we normally would put them earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But while you're listening along, we would love for you to leave us a voicemail. So Jay, why don't you tell the people how they could do that? And then we'll get into it.
People, leave us a voicemail, 3853-BLAKPC or 385-325-2572. So you can call, leave us a little voicemail. You could be heard on the show, be included in an episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We'll answer your
questions. Yes, indeed. Yeah, man. So this week, I forgot to tell you. Okay, so earlier this week or last week, whatever you want to call it, I posted a video. I think I did it on the Hook Shrub TikTok, and then I copied it and sent it over to, the Instagram. And it said, ladies, if your man squeezes the juice out of his brisket just to show you how juicy it is, it's okay to leave him. Let me tell you, man, I got so many responses on that. It was hilarious. I think that was the most viewed video that I'd ever posted, which is really cool. But
good responses.
Oh yeah, really good responses. There was only one dude who was like, "You got to show off that wet ass brisket." They call it WAB, right? And and I'm just like, and that's what people do. They cut the brisket in half and they put it in front of him. They squeeze it, and you see all the juice fall out. And I'm like, bruh, you just let go of hours of work right there, hours of time, smoke, resting, all that stuff. You just squeezed half of it out, so you messed up. And that was about the closest to anything I've ever done that's gone viral. Thankfully, I guess positive viral. Thankfully, but. Yeah. But that was cool. That was interesting to see people's responses. And yeah, people, don't squeeze your brisket. If your man want to squeeze his meat, just don't let it be brisket. Okay. If you catch him slipping, it's okay to go. But what I was gonna say, something that actually went viral big time over the past few weeks, is Squid Game.
Yes.
A lot more viral than anything that I've done.
Yeah, definitely.
Squid Game, this TV show that you told me about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I started watching
it on Netflix.
Yeah, I started watching it, and really, one of the reasons why I started watching it, because my daughter walks up and she's like, "Hey, can I watch Squid Game?" And I was like, "I don't know. LeRon told me about. I said that you told me about, a little bit about it." And I was like, I might have to preview this a little bit, but I know it's about like some dastardly killing and other kind of stuff like mixed into a game type of situation. So I watched it. I started watching. I was like, yeah, you probably can't watch this yet. But I started watching it and I was like, I can't stop. So I think over the course of like 3 nights, I ended up, watching all the episodes. Yeah. And man, that show is good. That show is good. So if you want, go ahead and give people the premise of it again, like the little synopsis, and then we could talk about it a little bit.
All right, people.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert! So, Squid Game. Quick synopsis. So, takes place in Korea. This is a Korean show. So, basically centers around this one man. He's down on his luck. He lives with his mom. He has a daughter. He's divorced. His daughter doesn't live with him. And like I say, he's down on his luck. He's broke, stealing from his mom. He has a gambling problem, and he's apparently in debt a lot of money. He gets approached at this train station by this guy who apparently knows him from somewhere. Actually, he does know him from somewhere. From some of the people he's in debt with. I guess they gave him his name, address, and all of that information. The guy gives him a card to call and says he could change his financial situation if he wants to play a game. So he gives this guy a call. They set it up. He gets to a particular spot he has to meet these people in a particular spot. And once these people come to pick him up, he hops in the car and bam, some sleeping gas comes. It just fills the car up, knocks him out along with a bunch of other people. He wakes up in this room with 464 some odd people, and nobody knows what's going on. They say, okay, this is the game. We're going to be playing the game. Nobody knows the consequences. They just know if they lose, they get eliminated. Okay, you get eliminated, you're out. You got to go back home. Or do you? So, first game they play is red light, green light. A childhood favorite of, everybody in America, pretty much. Every kid. I don't know if they play it nowadays, but yeah, back in the 80s, 90s, yeah. So there's this big mannequin or whatever, and this is just the first episode, people. I'm just giving you a synopsis of this. This big robotic statue, screaming out red light, green light. And they start running, a red light, green light. So they say red light. A couple people keep moving. Next thing you know, pop up. Uh-oh. Are you playing music? Okay. Yeah. So red light, bam. A couple people start moving. Keep moving. Keep running. Are they going to be out? They might be out. What happens? Snipers come from each side of them. Shoot the people who's moving. Because the mannequin or the robot at the end of the game, towards the far end, who's screaming out red light, green light, has infrared type movement sensors in her face and is tracking everybody. So then they see that and mass chaos ensues and everybody who's running gets shot. So they get out, and now the people who are clearly alive have an idea what's going on. And there you have the partial first episode of Squid Game, and you have an idea what's to happen in 9 episodes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think just imagine, dude. Just imagine being that moment. You just been instructed that whoever wins this game, I guess somebody, people get eliminated, whatever, and then the money gets filled in the pot. Whoever wins this game and then the other series of games is going to win. It's like 446 billion won, like Korean, dollars. And that's insane. But you're in this moment where everybody's playing this game. You see some people that you see other people that apparently know other people also in the game. And it seems like, you're trying to be chummy with people and just trying to sort of figure out what's happening. You see this big red light, green light set up with this really scary looking robot, that has like laser eyes or whatever. I don't know. And somebody gets shot right next to you. What do you do? If you were in that situation, Jay?
I would probably run.
You probably run.
Yeah.
I'd probably run too. I probably got shot right at the beginning and been done. Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say? Because, was it? I think they made it clear. That you need to freeze, whenever it's red light. But, and you hear that and you're like, okay, yeah, it's red light. So you just stop, I'm trying to say. But if you see somebody get shot, somebody get capped like right next to you, pop, pop, and other people, similarly, you probably don't know what's going to happen. So yeah, that's when you run. So it's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, I can't remember how many they eliminated in the first game that didn't make it.
It was about, I think they had 255 left.
It's like half, like almost half of them. Yeah. That's wild. But this show, man, it went through the ups and downs, but really, like you said, it was about somebody, a lot of people were down on their luck money-wise or owed people, millions, billions of dollars, in a couple cases. And, and they're playing these games. And over the course of the show, several episodes, we come to find out that, what is, I guess, sort of, it's sort of like a rich men's club or whatever is sort of funding this whole thing, and betting on it and whatnot. And, sort of the stuff behind the scenes. But even in the first episode, a lot of the players after that first game was like, all right, we need to be done. Like, I can't do this. We can't do this anymore. Let's do a vote. And some of the people wanted to stay. Some of the people wanted to go. But they said if a majority of people, if a majority of people decides to leave or to end the game, then they'll just straight up end it, which they ended up doing. They ended the game after the first episode, and they sent them all back home. And they were like, and they were like, when you go back home, you're gonna be going back to the same old stuff. Nothing's gonna change. Here, in the game, you may at least have a chance, but people wanted to go home anyway because they're scared of getting capped from playing the kids' game. So you see, then the second episode, they mainly go through watching, the people go back to their daily lives, their daily, whatever their regular day job is and stuff like that. And, they go back to crap, they go back to despair. They go back, to owing people money and, potentially almost dying depending on how much money they owe people or gangsters and stuff like that. Yeah. So, but then during that second episode, that same, whoever the company is or whoever it is that, the game makers send out cards to all the people again and say, if you want to rejoin the game, now that you've been home for a bit, right, come on, call this number. And so they end up coming back. I think there was like 187. And it was funny because they used the number 187 as a murder, but 187 people decided to come back, after that first round of people, decided to end it. And we don't know what happened to the people who didn't come back, but, they come back. Those other people come back for the game. And there's this really old dude who's like number one, and then there's, obviously a lot of other people who come back to the game. And the old dude was one of the main characters throughout the game. And the last guy, number 456, who was like the main character, the main protagonist in this, season, befriends this old guy, number one. Right. And, the game starts to go back on. And so I can't remember what the next game was. It was some kind of kids game. But if do you remember what it was? Second game? I can't remember.
That's a good question.
I don't know.
For some reason, I want to think it was it wasn't the game with the cutting out the little sweet.
No, that was called The Man with the Umbrella.
Okay. Yeah, I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember it right now. But
no, it wasn't a tug of war. It wasn't.
No, tug of war was
red light, green light. Was it that fight at midnight? No.
Yeah, that was the one, wasn't it?
Was it the one?
I think they did. I think they did a second game. It was either they did a second game and let them fight that night, or they did the fight and then after the fight, then that's when they did the game.
Because basically list the games. Yeah, I'm looking at the list, and so you got the red light, green light. It had to be either the midnight fight or the candy?
No, Man with the Umbrella was, so the second episode was hell when everybody went back home and
Okay.
decided to come back.
Yeah. Right.
Third episode was the Man with the Umbrella. So
Okay.
they
So
play
that
this
was
game. So this game is basically like, I guess when as a kid, there's a
okay.
guy,
Okay. Gotcha.
like a kid, like I don't know, a guy who went around selling candy and stuff like that. But he would basically melt sugar and water or something like that in a pot. I think it was like sugar, water, and cornstarch or something like that in a pot, and then like wait till it got hard, and then would stamp a shape into it and give it to kids, and it was like a little candy piece, right?
Okay.
And so in that game, they actually had to use a needle to cut out a shape from a candy piece. Some people had a circle, some people had triangle, square, and then some people had an umbrella shape. And you only had 10 minutes or something like that to to remove your shape without breaking the shape, or you would die. And you die on the spot, like straight up cap you. Like it was crazy. And then after that, that's when they decided to sort of team up. And then there was like basically like an overnight kill fest where people were starting to take out the other people. And then they had a couple of games, and then let's see, they had one where it was like marbles.
That was crazy right there.
Mm-hmm.
Because you had these two guys. You had one guy, I forgot his name, but he had the main character in the first red light, green light episode. He grabbed onto.
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
The internet's is coming to get us.
The internet.
I can hear you to a point.
Can hear me.
You're just breaking up a bit. But
I don't think anybody's watching this live. So,
yeah, it's okay. We're perfectly fine.
Let me check my internet speed just to be sure, people. Oh yeah, I'm fine. So, what was I saying?
You're talking about
the guy who helped the main character in the first episode. He grabbed him and kept him from falling down.
Mm-hmm.
He used his strength. So that Marvel episode, after they had like their little alliance, their little clique,
mm-hmm.
the one guy he was playing marbles with kind of betrayed him, screwed him up.
Yep.
And then of course you had that situation, and then you had the old man situation.
Mm-hmm.
So you thought the old man died, but he didn't. Spoiler.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah, so, the old man. It is interesting because at that point the main protagonist had the old man like said something, and it seemed like this old man was like sort of losing it. He had like a tumor in his head, like all this stuff.
Right.
And so the old man like made a guess, during this marble game, and the guy thought he was dead. He was like, "Man, it's over." But then the old man was like, "What did I say?" And the guy was like, you guessed something else. It was like
that was messed up too.
Mm-hmm.
That was messed up.
It was, but then again, you know what, man? In that moment,
you probably would have did the same, right?
Done the same thing. I'd be like, "Oh no, bro, you didn't guess odd, you guessed even." Like, I did? Yeah, you sure did. Okay.
Like,
and it's crazy because in the middle of this and like people killing it, people sort of like savagely letting other people die.
Mm-hmm.
This guy came to a point where he had developed a liking for this old guy. It was like his buddy, and he was like, "You know what, dog? It's either me or you. So it's gonna be you today." He didn't care, even though I think he did care. Obviously, he was sad. That he basically like got over on this old guy, and he died 2 times or whatever, or lied to him 2 times about what he had picked.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the same situation, if one got to go, that one ain't gonna be me if I have an opportunity.
That's right.
So
That's right.
yeah, that was a wild game. It was set up in a like in a neighborhood looking thing. It's like in the neighborhood. So yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah. I like the glass stepping stones. Was that? Yeah. That one
Oh,
game where that was
mm,
wild. That was a wild game.
definitely. That was crazy. So if you imagine, this is they get down so many people, and if you can imagine, um, there's a bridge, right? This bridge is, 200 feet off the floor, and it's a glass bridge, and we've seen all these glass bridges that everybody's terrified of, right?
Yeah.
But it's almost like hopping. You're sort of like hopping to safety. Like you used to play a game as a kid, where like the floor is lava, and
Yeah.
you're trying to
Yeah.
stay off the floor. So basically, these glass stepping stones, you have to jump to each glass stepping stone, and there's two sides, right? Two tracks that go all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many 100 pieces of glass, whatever, but one pane of and for each step, one pane of glass on one side was just a regular pane of glass. The other side was tempered glass, and the tempered glass was the strongest and could hold the weight of up to two competitors.
Right.
So yeah, they were jumping back and forth, and you could see pretty early that if you jumped on, and I don't know why they had to jump, because I'm like, I would have just stepped, but
Look,
people were jumping.
Here's the crazy thing. I was looking at that, and I'm like, wait a minute. You could probably like put your feet on both sides and just walk the rail straight down, because there was that much space where you could just spread your legs and just kind of.
And that was a rail in the middle, or was it empty in the middle?
It was empty in the middle,
okay,
but the railing went straight down.
Smart. Yeah.
So I'm like, why didn't they just think of that?
And the rule wasn't necessarily to that you had to put both feet on a pane of glass. You just had to touch one of the panes of glass. So yeah, you'd actually been all right if you'd have done that trick.
Yeah.
In that game, you got to pick a number, and basically it's like 1 to 16, and they didn't tell anybody, what the significance of the numbers were. But after everybody picked the numbers, before they walked into the room with the glass bridge, they were like, whatever your number is, that's going to correspond with what position you go. You take your turn in.
Right.
And so, the main character obviously picked the last number, and his other two people that were a part of his quote unquote team, had picked the two numbers just before him. Which was smart in this scenario, because he had a choice between last and first, and some guy was like, let me pick first. I've always been last. I've always been picked last in games. I want to be able to take control of my life. He was the first one to die. So that was interesting. But yeah, man, I thought it was weird that they're jumping back and forth between panes. I was just like, why don't you just step, or why don't you, do something else? And then, the three of the main characters made it. The old guy died, obviously, at that point. The three main characters, and it was crazy. At the end of it, like from below, they just had like all the machine guns shoot all the glass out. So if you didn't cross in 10 minutes, then they're going to shoot the glass out, and you're going to fall and die anyway. So but that was an interesting, weird episode, especially with those new characters coming in. The guys who were sort of funding it and betting on it. Like the rich people, and then man, there's so much packed into these episodes. The one episode where there was tug of war, before the Marvels episode, they had a tug of war episode. Same scenario. You're on two bridges playing tug of war. A couple 100 feet up in the air, and if your team, if the rope, or if the flag, goes too far toward the other team, and your team loses, or if somebody falls off, then they cut the rope as the team falls off, and then everybody dies.
Everybody dies.
Yeah, you all fall in a big pile of, 10-person, gobbledygook.
Yeah. Oh,
200,
another
200 feet
thing
below.
we forgot to mention: there's an undercover cop in
Mm-hmm.
the whole mix of everything, and he's trying to infiltrate the whole, I guess, facility and disguise himself as one of the workers, one of the guards or supervisors. I think he switched the mask to be like one of the supervisors or
To Square.
managers. Yeah. So that was cool. And eventually, in his storyline, he finds out that one of the main orchestrators of this thing is
The
his
front
brother.
man.
Yeah, it's his brother, and of course, something happens to him towards the end, and we don't know if he lived or he died. It's
So
apparent. It looks like he died, but we don't know.
we don't know because they shot him because
Yeah.
the brother ended up shooting him. He
Yeah.
fell off a cliff, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't see where he went. We just know that he fell off the cliff.
He fell, but then didn't they look in the water and they
Yeah,
saw
you didn't
something
see
floating
nothing.
off?
I don't think they saw it.
They didn't see him floating off. I thought they saw him floating off.
Maybe so. I don't know.
But
I can't.
Either way it goes, they shot him like in the shoulder.
In the shoulder, yeah.
Yeah, in the shoulder. So is he going to come back for a season 2? Which we're assuming there's a season 2 because
the way it ended.
Yeah, the way it ended. Which I guess we could just give it away. Spoiler alert again.
We gave that spoiler alert early, so they still in at this point. It's too late.
Yeah, true. So our main character, the guy that had the daughter, he wins after, I guess,
playing the Squid Game.
Playing the Squid Game against his supposed friend.
Childhood friend, yeah.
Childhood friend and the pickpocket girl that he, I guess, grew a liking to towards the end. So after that glass walk and them blowing up the glass, a piece of glass shoots off and lands in the girl's stomach, in her side. So she's bleeding to death. She's dying anyway. So there's 3 of these people left at the end. And they're all in this room. They have a knife. Each of them have a knife, I guess. It's like, who's going to kill who? Who's going to survive? The last 2 people survive. Definitely has to go on to the final game, which is the Squid Game. So it was pretty.
Well, remember the best friend, the childhood friend, had killed the girl when she was trying to
She was trying to stay awake, but it was late. They were all pretty much exhausted. She was passing out. He was trying to go get help. The friend comes over, slits the girl's, or stabs her in the neck, or slits her neck.
Yeah, stabbed through her jugular.
Yeah. So then, bam, she's dead. Now you got the childhood friend and the main character
versus each other.
Yeah, in the Squid Game.
Yeah.
Which, the main character, apparently in a flashback towards the beginning of the season, first episode, I guess he was like Squid Game champion of the playgrounds. So he knows how to play the game to the best, So
he was the best of them all.
He was the best of the best. So he won the Squid Game. And he won the 46.5 billion won. Why he got his hair dyed red, pink colored, I don't know just yet. Maybe
I think this is
a new life.
This is what happened because he ended up going to the game because he was in debt, but B because his mom was, I guess, had developed diabetes and she needed surgery like on her feet, like all this stuff, and she needed hospital care. So he went there for those main reasons, or he went back. Yeah,
and to because his mom also said that if you could show a substantial amount of money or a good living situation, that his daughter, he could get claim to his daughter.
Yeah.
So I think those are those are 3 main reasons. So
but the crazy thing is, he ended up meeting. He met the detective somehow before they went in the second time around.
Right.
he met the detective. Also, during that time frame, where he went to, during that time frame where I guess he went home after he won.
Mhm.
He went back. His mom, they found out that his mom ended up, I guess his mom just died, like in
Yeah.
the apartment or whatever that they lived in.
Yeah.
His mom ended up dying, and he was just like at a place where he was like, you know what, you know, um, what should I do now? What am I doing with my life? Because I think at that point, like his daughter and his ex-wife, all this stuff had moved to moved to America. All this stuff had happened, and so like nothing was working out for this guy. And yeah, it was just a sad setup. Like everything was sad, and he couldn't get his life in check in order to what he wanted it. So, I think he just saw a photo, a hairstyle photo of, of a, just like when you go into like the beauty salon or
Yeah,
the
it's just a
barber shop.
random style.
Yeah, he just saw, he's like, you know what?
Give me
Make my
number
hair
7.
like that. Yeah. Give me number 7. Yeah. Red, please. Yeah, man. What's crazy is like his interest, like you said, like at the beginning of the series. Yeah, at the beginning of the series, they did a little vignette, a little video of him like playing the Squid Game, and he won it. But for the rest of his life, he didn't win anything. Like he was such a loser, except for that one game, right?
Yep.
So, it just harkens back to playground games, like think about the games that you won and you were good at compared to the ones that you did not and you were terrible at. And this was this guy. So yeah, it was quite interesting. It was a really cool show. Yeah, he turned his hair red, and he had an opportunity to hop on a plane to go see his daughter, because I still think at that point they didn't even know. The kid, the rest of the family didn't even know that this guy had played this game or won this money. All this stuff. He was about to get on a plane, and he had ran across this dude who was playing the same game in the subway with the same first dude, right? That had him come to the subway, and he found the guy, the subway guy. I guess the game guy took off, but he found the guy who was playing the game, and he took the card from him, and he ended up calling the number,
right?
And like they basically invited him back to come back. Or they said don't get any crazy thoughts or something like that. And then he was like, I'm coming back to the game. And so, he went back to the game. That made me so mad. That he went back. So I'm looking at these characters. So I have this up on our stream. The cop is right here in this image. And then over here is the subway guy. I thought it was the same dude. Is that not the same dude?
It looks very similar. They look
like the same dude. That was weird, because like at the end, when they saw the subway dude again, I was like, that's the cop. But I guess it's not. It's not. Wow. But so if people out there are into any kind of like what do you call it? Like movie and video symbolism and imagery in art, they did, these 3 main shapes: circle, triangle, square. And basically they used the circle, triangle, and square to create a squid, type shape on the ground. And that was like, at the beginning of the whole series, they did that, and that was to symbolize the shape of a squid. But then, they had all these guys that I guess they call them like the pink men, which, in my TV, I thought they were red until I looked harder and saw that they were pink. But yeah, like you said earlier, each of them had a circle, triangle, or square on their face. And, they all had different jobs. And I believe the circles were sort of like the henchmen, grunts, or whatever. The triangle guys were more of like, the enforcer, like the gunmen. You know what I'm trying to say? The people who took people out. And the square was sort of like the boss, the manager, supervisor.
Yeah.
And then there was one guy that was called the front man, and he had a total different mask. With sort of like some robotic style facial features. I don't know what you want to call it.
Yeah.
And yeah, he wore a different outfit. He was in all black. So it was weird, man. So all this to say, the show was great. I started to look for Halloween costumes, and they're out there on Amazon.
Oh yeah.
I would say if you want anything Squid Game related, you should try to order it well before Halloween. Right now, at least on Amazon. Otherwise, maybe go to Spencer or something like that, or Hot Topic, because those seem to be the places where you could buy that stuff. But man, I'm trying to say, so if it came down, Jay, to a winner take all between you and one of your childhood friends, who would that friend be? Would it be Joe? Would it be AJ? Would it be somebody else?
Man,
and then what would that game be that you would play to try to win it?
Well, here's the thing. I like all my friends. I love all my brothers, man. So I couldn't do it. I wouldn't be able to do it. That'd be like picking the least favorite and saying, I'm going to beat you in this game and you're going to have to die. I couldn't do it. I don't think I'd be able to do it, man. No.
Be tough, man. It'd be tough.
But if it's a game against a whole bunch of random folks, it's either going to be Duck, Goose or hide and seek.
Oh, yeah. Hide and seek. I'm surprised they didn't play that, but maybe they'll play that in the second season.
Yeah.
That's a.
I am the man at hide and seek. We play hide and seek in my small ass house now.
Oh, do you?
Kids.
That's funny.
And they never can find me because they can't think outside the box like I can. I be hiding. Yeah. I hide in all sorts of places.
Yeah.
I hide in the shower. I hide in the. I hide in the underneath stuff, underneath a bunch of clothes. Make it look like it's just a pile of stinky clothes.
Yeah.
I do it all. I climb up on top stuff. Hide in the closet. Hide in the, just in the bathroom area, sort of behind the toilet. Yeah, man. So I do it. And then the kids started playing this thing called extreme hide and seek.
Oh, is that when people get punched or something like that?
No. So they have they wrote down a bunch of categories like little subjects. They fold it, put it in a hat. So whoever's the seeker has to count, and whoever has to hide has to pick from the hat. And it'll say hide in a place that's hot, or hide in, I don't know, hide underneath something, hide behind something, this particular object. So you have to find something in the house that pertains to that particular subject and hide with it or behind it or whatever. It's pretty fun,
That's cool, yeah.
So they got a little creative with it. So yeah, that's cool. What about you? What would you do? What game would you choose?
Wow. Duck Goose was one of the ones that I thought about when I was, fun game when I was a kid that I always, was pretty good at. Heads up, 7 up. You remember that? Where they say thumbs down, eyes closed, heads up, like head down, thumb down like this, and people have to press in your thing, and then you have to guess who it was. Do you remember that? Do you remember that? You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. Oh, you're trying to hear me? All right. Oh, wait. Can't unmute. Okay, the mic isn't connected. Yeah, you have to unmute yourself.
Hello?
There you go. There you go, yeah.
I don't know how that happened.
Somehow you muted yourself. It's all right. No, so I said that I would play like Heads Up, 7 Up. Do you remember that game?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
When you were silent, I was like, I know you played that game.
I played it.
Yeah. So that one,
a long time.
I would have played baseball because as a kid, I was like, like what you call it, like yard, like or I guess like just random yard field baseball and football. I was good at those.
How would you win that? How would you win that though?
Well, that would be one of those team games that they played, right? You know,
okay.
like team of like 4 people or something like that, and most team with the most runs wins or something like that.
Yeah.
Football, you know, the same thing. Okay. Doug Goose, and then also bike racing.
Okay.
Like I was like, because it was funny because like where we lived when I was a kid, we had one inlet street and 2 cul-de-sacs on either end, so it was one way in and out.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would say it was probably like, you know, maybe a little over a quarter mile long. So we used to race our bikes as kids, you know, up and down. Maybe it wasn't quite a half mile, maybe a little over a quarter mile, third of a mile long. Anyway, we'd race our bikes up and down, you know, and I would always be like dusting them fools when I was a kid.
Right.
I would have to play that. And if I played with one of my childhood friends from the streets that I lived on, it would have to be my friend Ben. Sorry, Ben. Or my friend George. Or Damon. I'm trying to think who else.
What was that dude that lived next door to your house?
The little white dude?
Yeah.
Michael. He was
Wasn't there a Rusty somewhere? Was there a Rusty?
Oh yeah, Rusty. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, man. Rusty. He lived about 4 doors down. He was the one I went to his house and we were playing cards, and I jumped the car into the bushes. He made me get it out, and I had 2 yellow jackets on my finger that stung me.
Oh yeah, you got to put. I remember.
Yeah, even though unfortunately Rusty passed away a few years ago.
Oh damn.
Yeah, it's sad, but yeah, man, he was Russell. That was him. Russell. That was his name. He was a cool cat. I liked him, and I would definitely play the game against him because he, you know, remembering him, knowing him, he was the type of kid who would have been down to play any of those games because, you know, it was just risk it all, and he was that type of kid. Yeah, there's several kids down that I would have played that with. Any of my friends from high school, I don't know, man. I like them too much. You know, it would be hard, right? It would be really, really hard, you know, but
yeah.
The show was good. It was a really good show, man. Overall, I'm a fan of the show. I can't wait for it to come back. I was really mad and disappointed that whatever homeboy name was decided to go back. Go back for the game again because it seemed like he had like some unfinished business and questions that he wanted answers to. I'm like, bruh. Just stand and wait in the subway. Homeboy gonna come through the subway again at some point in time. Ask him all the questions you want. Don't go back.
No. So next season will probably be a lot different.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm sure they're gonna come out with another season. And the crazy thing about this particular show was the creator of this has been trying to pitch this for years to different networks and different studios to get made, and everybody turned him down. You know,
really,
like for years, this guy's been trying to pitch this, and he finally got his shot, and bam, this blew up to #1 on Netflix. So
isn't that amazing, man?
Yeah, just shows everybody out there. You got an idea, you feel passionate about it. Stick to your guns, and you know, be patient.
Yeah,
everything will work.
Yeah, this is true. I have a question. So what is here? I'm going to try to share the screen so you can see it. I was trying to get to it before and I couldn't figure out how to do it, but let me look back here. So we're just going to share a tab. That's what I meant to do. Okay. So what is this thing called? This, because this is a design like from like a piece of art or something like that. I'm trying to say.
You know,
like where they have all these stairs and things.
It reminds me of an MC Escher painting.
That's what I was thinking.
Or drawn sketch. That's what it reminded me of, but I wasn't 100% sure because it's, you know, it's all in color and stuff, and MC Escher worked in black and white.
Yeah, that's definitely what it reminds me of. I kept looking at that. I was like, what is that? But we didn't even get into like the doctor who was basically undercover harvesting organs and selling them on the black market. There was so much stuff. There's so much stuff. So yeah. So what did you all think of Squid Game? Definitely let us know. We want to hear about that. And yeah, so this week, I know that I finished the Squid Game, and I know you always have fun new shows that you start to watch. So, what shows were you getting into this week?
So this is a good show. It's called On My Block, and I know I mentioned it.
Okay, yeah,
quite a few times. So the final season just came out, and it's done. Season 4. It's a great watch, for anybody who wants to watch, because these characters kind of pull you in. You kind of want to figure out what's going on with them. It's more of a comedy than it is like crazy Squid Billy games or Squid Games.
Squid Billy.
Yeah.
It's a fun show.
Yeah. So I'd say, for anybody, check that out. It's a good watch. What else? I finally was able to watch, since it is October and Halloween's approaching, it's called Horror Noir. And this came with the Shudder channel. We got a free pass or free trial through Sling TV. And this pretty much discusses, and it talks about, it's like a documentary. It talks about the association with Black people and horror movies, like our love for it, but then like all these different horror tropes that some movies started to have with Black people, like we're always the first to die, and things like that. So it went back in time and said, like, for instance, our whole existence in America has been a horror movie pretty much, since the time we got here. So even now, with our dealings with the police and stuff. So it talks a lot about, the history with that. Some of the early movies that portrayed Black men to be these monsters, if you will, like these monsters trying to pursue white women and doing bad things at that time. And this was with white people in blackface portraying it. So it kind of, at that time, it sort of sparked this idea in the viewers' minds that, oh, Black people are really like this. Let's really not, deal with them on that matter. And then they started showing like monsters and stuff like Frankenstein and Creature from the Black Lagoon, and they started having these features, particular facial features that a lot of people were linking and likening them to Black folks, like the huge lips on the Creature from the Black Lagoon, and wild looking features of him. And then they started talking about King Kong. That's another, even though we don't really consider it like a horror movie, maybe back then it was. And his fascination with getting the white woman,
King Kong,
King Kong with getting the white woman. So it talked a whole lot about that, and they had some really great guest stars, like talking about this stuff. So Keith David was one of the people. Keith David, he has an iconic voice, voice Spawn in the animated series, and he's just did a lot of work. Rusty Candioff, who is the director of Tales from the Hood. There's just a whole bunch of people that were in horror movies in like the 80s and 90s, and they just brought them together to talk about these particular things. So I thought it was a great documentary. If anybody wants to check it out, definitely tells a good side of our history within horror movies. So yeah, that was a little long-winded, but yeah, it was great. But what else have I been watching? We've been watching the Wu-Tang Clan series on Hulu, so we've been doing that, catching up on that.
Okay,
that's a really good one as well.
I saw that start. Is that, do you have to have like Hulu Platinum or whatever it's called?
Just regular Hulu, man.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out then.
Yeah. then what else we've been just jumping around from show to show. That started watching what's it called? La Brea. I guess this is a show on NBC, maybe. So it's like, just think of it like Land of the Lost. Remember that from way back in the day?
Yeah, that was a good.
So this big sinkhole opens up in the middle of Los Angeles around the La Brea tar pits. I think that's what it's called. That whole area. So part of the Staples Center gets pulled into that hole, and then all these people just fall into this massive sinkhole, and they end up 10,000 BC. And they have to try and figure out how to deal with that.
That's crazy.
While the people on top are trying to figure out how to get down there and figure out what's going on. So it goes into this back and forth thing where it's like modern day, then it goes 10,000 BC. So that's an okay series so far. We only watched like 2 episodes of it, but I think, is that it? And Cowboy Bebop. I've been rewatching Cowboy Bebop episodes.
Okay, yeah.
And it just dawned on me, Wulong Talks, our brothers from across the pond, their name, Wulong, is the currency that's used in Cowboy Bebop.
Dang, that's jacked up.
I didn't even remember.
That's where their name came from?
Yeah. And I could have swore, and
Money Talks.
I probably heard this in one of their other episodes where they describe where they got the name Wulong Talks from, and it just didn't click. It just didn't click until I started rewatching Cowboy Bebop, because the live action series is coming out next month, or at the end of this month, next month. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. So yeah, shout out to Wulong Talks and Cowboy Bebop.
I didn't even put 2 and 2 together, but I didn't know that's what that even meant. I watched Cowboy Bebop, but I don't know if I ever actually paid close enough attention to really get that. So that's cool. Yeah, man, a lot of good shows there. Lots of good shows. I was trying to think.
And I watched Sparrow this morning with Chris Rock, that latest Saw movie. So they had Chris Rock and Samuel Jackson in there. That was pretty good. I enjoyed it. So yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'm trying to think. So I watched. Okay, so I watched. Let's see here. There's a show called Schmigadoon on Apple TV, and it's with Keegan Michael Key.
Keegan Michael Key, okay.
Yeah, and it's like him. He is a doctor, and he meets this other doctor, just randomly, like one fateful night when they're, and they both had long nights or something like that. The one doctor's trying to get a Snickers out of like the snack machine, and it doesn't work. And he's like, you know what? If you kick it, then I found that works. And she's like, yeah, whatever. And he's like, no, go ahead and kick it. So like she kicked the machine, and like basically everything in the machine started falling out of the machine. Like all the snacks, started falling out of the machine. And then they fell in love because she's like, oh my gosh, he's the one. And they sort of fell in love, and they started dating for a long time. And so like this show like sort of starts after they'd been into this relationship for 3 or 4 years, and it's starting to go sour a little bit. It's just not the same. It's not fresh anymore. And so they go on this like love hike or whatever in the middle of the forest, and end up getting lost. And they're like, oh, it looks like there's a bridge there. Let's walk over this bridge. And he is like she is like the girl who's like fully invested in love, and like happy with the relationship, but knows that it needs work. Right. And that's why she was like, hey, let's go on this thing. And then he is the guy who is just sort of like there because it's a relationship, and because there's, he's like there because he has to be type of thing. And he does love her, but he doesn't know if he means he loves her, right? He's not quite sure. So he's just there. He's just in it just because it's convenient, I guess, comfortable. And so they cross this bridge, and they like sort of step through some clouds, and they end up, and it looks like they're in like the Wizard of Oz land. You know what I'm trying to say? Like looks like a bunch of fake plants.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? There's like this cool city that looks like it's way far off in the distance down a long, road path. And it says like Schmigadoon, population 184 or something like that.
Schmigadoon.
So yeah, so they walk off into the sun, into the area, and they get there, and basically it's like an old west town, and but like everything's green, right, and fresh and new, and it's also a musical. Life is a musical, so every single day, life's a musical. And I only got like a couple episodes in before I, end up like turn it off and watch something else. But basically, they get stuck there. They went on this trip to try to find love. They get stuck in this town, and they find out that they can't leave until they find love. They cannot leave this town. They're basically stuck every day in a revolving musical. And the musical doesn't start over every day. All the characters in the town, have their own purpose, but and they all talk like sort of normal. But then if there's like some random subject that pops up, somebody breaks out in song, like just somebody. Like they went to have breakfast one day, and the waitress is like, "Would you like some corn pudding? That's our specialty." And the guy was like, Keegan was like, "What's corn pudding?" And then the waitress is like, "Hey everybody, he's never heard of corn pudding." So then they go off and they like start this song about corn pudding. Well, if you ain't never had no corn pudding and you never had corn pudding in your life, it's the best thing in the world. Just have some corn pudding, something like that. So anyway, it was funny. It's interesting, man. It's interesting. If you like musicals, you'll like this.
Cool.
If you like very odd comedy mixed with musicals, you like this. If you don't like musicals, which actually Keegan's character in the show says, "I hate musicals. I hate, like, they all think that people are just performing until they find out that it's life, right?
Right.
But yeah, I think it goes on, them separating or splitting up and trying to hook up with other people in the town, and just weird. So so Schmigadoon is interesting. And then another show that just popped up was called Acapulco, where this is like a place, is like this this resort in Mexico that's supposed to be like, like the Four Seasons, like the coolest, finest, nicest resort. And this is what you hear about in this one town as a kid. This guy heard about this resort. He's like, one day I want to work there. I want to go there. So he basically like grows up and he gets a job, at this resort. That's like, the nicest resort. And the resort is called Las Colinas, which is funny because that's a little town out in Dallas area. But I hadn't started watching it. I want to start watching. I'm gonna watch it here soon.
Oh yeah, I think I saw a commercial for that today.
It looks pretty good. Other things. But one thing that I started watching that I haven't that I've seen before, like we watched it again, was Cruella, right?
Okay, yeah.
So the Disney special, or the Disney movie, whatever, called Cruella, it's been out for a few months now. We saw it on Disney Plus. We watched it on Disney Plus the other night. It was my daughter's night for movie night. And as I was watching it, I was like, man, this makes me actually like Cruella de Vil. Like, I think she's sort of cool, while watching this. So then I began to think, I was like, what kind of other, villain origin stories would I be interested in seeing? You know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
Like, what other villains, would be cool to, sort of watch their origin story. And man, I for some reason, Skeletor just popped in my mind. It's like, I want to see Skeletor, as an origin story. I just really need to see it.
The origin of Skeletor.
Yeah. So what do you think if there was a villain that you wanted to see his origin story or her origin story, whatever? Who would you want to see? Because I'm like, Skeletor wasn't always a skeleton.
Shredder.
Something had to happen. Ooh, Shredder. That would be a good one.
Yeah, the Shredder.
Like, do you think wasn't Shredder like wasn't he a wasn't he a what we call like disciple of the Splinter? Am I right?
Well,
Or no?
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think as far as the cartoon, not the movie.
So you want to see a cartoon?
Well,
Cartoon
no,
origin?
I'm trying to think of the
Okay.
relationship between Shredder and Splinter in the cartoon versus the one in the movie, because the one in the movie, the Shredder kills Splinter's master because Splinter was just a little rat in a cage, but in the cartoon, he was an actual man that got mutated into a rat. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the relationship in the cartoon. So yeah, I would think either one of those, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I don't remember the relationship between Shredder and Splinter. It slips my mind. I'm sure it's gonna come back to me sometime when I'm doing something not even remotely associated with thinking about this stuff. So yeah, but that who else is out there? What other villains you got?
Man, so we've already seen the Darth Vader, villain origin stories. Like we've already seen that. I'm trying to think of other good. We already saw the a bit of the Thanos, villain origin story, and several others that are similar to that. I'm trying to think of some good villain. So, this is a very odd one-off, but Mr. Wilson from Dennis the Menace.
Okay.
I don't know why. There's always there's just I just want to see. There's just random people. I'm looking at them. I'm like, I want to see your origin story. I want to see where you came from and what made you who you are. Mum-Ra from Thundercats.
Yeah. I think this would be close to Skeletor's because when you think about it, it's just they're both the same movie. They're still the same TV show.
Destro. I want to see his origin story. And actually, that may happen because they're doing a bunch of G.I. Joe origin stories. Who is it?
Cobra Commander.
Yeah, Cobra Commander. Which hold on. Wasn't Cobra Commander's origin story in the Snake Eyes one?
Was it? I didn't even watch the Snake Eyes movie. Yeah.
I think it might have been partly in there. I know that the Baroness was part of that. At least they alluded to her origin as well. I'm trying to think. Who was the guy that went against Optimus Prime? The guy who turned into a gun.
Oh man. I feel bad now. I feel like I'm about to lose my 80s kid card.
Transformers. Well, I'm the one who asked the question, so I got it worse. So I'm the one who should lose that. So Transformers. Let's see here. Megatron.
I feel bad now.
Yeah, Megatron.
On the tip of my tongue.
I want to see, even though he's rated the 10th best villain, apparently, with Screen Rant, which is not necessarily.
What about Denzel's character from Training Day?
Ooh, watch his origin story. Now that would be.
Wait a minute. Well, I think they were talking about doing an origin story for him.
Is that right?
I think they were. There were rumors about that. I don't know how true it is.
Let's see.
I don't know.
That would be cool.
I have to look it up now.
That would be cool to watch that. Man, there's a ton of characters out there. You want to see what their actual origin story is. Just sort of really find out where they came from. And some of those villains are big time, and some of them are not. Jafar. I want to see Jafar's origin story, and also Gaston. Why is Gaston such a D-bag? Why? Why is he that? How did he become that dude? You know what I'm saying? Because then again, if you think about it, as a kid, there were always kids that were like that guy. You look at you like, you know what? One day you're gonna be that guy that none of the girls want to go out with. You're gonna force your will upon them, and you're gonna be that dude, and then nobody's gonna like you. You're gonna only have friends because you force your whatever upon them to be your friend.
Yeah. How about, well, no.
I got villains back here behind me. The Joker, we already seen that.
A Freddy Krueger one. I'd like to see, even though they kind of sort of alluded to it in some of the, like he was a child molester type thing. But I want to see the before, way back when he was like Krueger. Oh yeah, okay. Nebula.
See hers. Freddy Krueger would be good actually. I think that would be a really good one to find out. You know what I'm trying to say? Freddy Krueger's. Trying to see what else I got behind me here. That's a good. I don't know. The rest of them are sort of whack. But we've seen a Jason one. We've seen a Michael Myers
Dr.
one.
Claw.
Dr. Claw
Inspector
from
Gadget.
Inspector Gadget. What?
Yeah,
that would be good. You know, there's a lot of origin stories that I'd like to see. You know what I'm trying to say? A lot of good origin stories from villains back in the day. I think that would be fun. Yeah. So speaking of people that have now become the villain, yeah, I watched a new special, and you watched a new special this week from one of our favorite comedians.
Yeah.
And there's a big uproar about it. So let's talk about that. So who had a new special this week?
Mr. Chappelle, Mr. David Chappelle.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. David Chappelle had his I guess this is his last special on Netflix for quite some time.
That's what he
according
said,
to him. Yeah. And I just started hearing about this backlash. I saw one story about it, about this one particular transgender woman, because he does have quite a bit of material in here that's related to the transgender community.
I mean, I'd say like 75% of it, right?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah.
So in this particular person is saying, you know, that he's transphobic and his words aren't good for the community, which was what was said the last 2 specials that he had. So I personally didn't hear it. I don't know, man. I just think some people latch on to a couple words and then they create this this whole story behind it, and they just run with it without hearing everything else, or just trying to see his point of view. What's going on? Yeah.
You know, this is the thing. This is when he, I don't know, maybe, okay. I'm sorry, I'm running over myself, but maybe he, you know, alluded to this being his last Netflix special for a while, because he knew the material in his stand-up was going to get such backlash that he may get canceled.
That's true.
Right?
Very true.
You know, so
it got a 2 out of 5.
Wow, it got a 40%, right? Oh, that's 5 votes. That doesn't count. 8.1 out of 10, over 4,000 votes. So that's 5,000 votes. That's a pretty substantial amount of votes. So 80, pretty much. So 81. So, you know, I was thinking that was the case. You know, that he might get, you know, some backlash over that. But also, you know, he gets standing ovations. So, you know, what the heck? You know, what is the deal? But in this one, you know, he basically, you know, started talking about transgender people, homosexuality, you know, and a lot of different scenario, you know, a lot of different things that you know, that he believed on that, you know, and some facts or whatever as well. And, you know, he went in and told this story about several stories, but he told a story about one comedian that, you know, that was one of his friends, you know, that ended up, you know, bombing a show, but had a joke, you know, during his show, you know, after this comedian had bombed like the open, and you know, ended up being like, you know, sort of like the star of the show from the audience, if that makes any sense.
Right.
And, you know, ended up saying, oh yeah, this lady ended up going and killing herself, you know, which was sad, obviously, but he was like, yeah, this actually happened, you know, and he was like, you know, don't go and kill yourself, blah, 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 you know, because he was just shocked that happened, but said he's going to take care of the kid, financially or something like that as the kid got older. So I don't know, man. This is the thing. He knew that he was going to get some backlash over it, as he always does, especially when he, starts to talk about certain communities that feel, that they're marginalized or have been marginalized. He was just like, not happy with the cancel culture, as this story here says. And it's cancel culture is crazy because it always, to me, I don't know. And this seems like this is what he was saying. It seems like cancel culture cancels people when it's convenient for them to cancel them. Right. That's what it sounded like he was trying to say. So I don't know, man.
I don't know. I'm not even going to much speak on it. I don't know what to say, dude. I don't know where some people are getting their information or coming to a conclusion about this stuff from, because he went on to explain in great detail how he felt about it, and I didn't hear anything. Maybe I just completely missed it because I'm I guess a heterosexual man. If people want to throw that into the mix, I probably just didn't get some of it, and maybe it just I don't understand. Maybe I'm not supposed to understand, as he put it in there in that special. But I thought he did a great job in explaining himself, how he felt, and the backlash he was getting, the backlash that his friend got, because she was a trans woman, and I guess from a previous specials, some people had said that his words were holding down the community. Is that right? Or putting down the community? What was the quote that he used? And she had gone on to say that his words weren't holding down the community. And I guess a lot of people from that LGBTQ community came and started, giving her a lot of dragging her on Twitter, as they say, and that was probably one of the reasons that she went ahead and killed herself. So those words from that particular community were just as hurtful, even more hurtful, I guess you could say, because she went ahead and did something that nobody really wants to do. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's very, very strange to me, the backlash from this.
That's the thing. It's really sad, when anybody kills himself, for whatever reason. It's really unfortunate and sad when that happens. I don't know why my screen is stopping here, but
what's happening?
Yeah, I don't know. That was weird. Can you see me?
I see you. I hear some beeping. What is that? Oh wait, man, that's my computer. Dude.
I think that's you, bro. I think it's really sad, when anybody kills himself, regardless of the situation, because this person has met their wits end, to be honest, with whatever situation they're going in. And this seems to be no different, sadly. It's sad that this comedian's story had to end that way. And it's sad that, like, a ton of comedians, if you look at history, more popular comedians have seemed to have killed themselves, like, what's his name? Van Down by the River. Can't remember his name right now. Tommy Boy.
Chris Farley.
Yeah. Off themselves. And, it's sad. But when it comes back to the issue at hand, when you look at Dave Chappelle's comedy over the course of time, his TV shows, he talked about feminism in this thing. His TV shows, like all this stuff. The Me Too movement, all this stuff. He's going to deliver a similar style of comedy every time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you're going to get. So are you looking for him to change who he was? Or are you looking for him to do the same type of stuff? And if he changes who he was, he may not be as funny. Maybe he'll be funnier. Maybe he'll evolve. Maybe more people like him. Maybe more people hate him. Who knows? He doesn't care as a comedian because at this point, at his status, he's not worried about people liking him. He's already made all the money he really need to make in life, apparently. But then, if he doesn't evolve or if he doesn't change his comedy, his comedy style,
mm-hmm.
you say two things. Because if he changes it, then you're like, why did he change it? He was already funny the way he was, right?
Yeah.
But if he doesn't change it, you have to already expect that this is what this man is going to come with. You got to expect it. We can expect him to say nigga a lot. We can expect him to talk about, black people and their plight and the funny things that's mixed into that. We can expect him to talk about people of different genders, and different sexual orientations and the comedy that comes out of that. Because there's a book that I have. Let's see here. I still have it in here. There's a book that I have somewhere here. It's called Life in Comedy, right? And it's really about actually it's really about the comedy that is in life, the comedy in real life. And when you think about funny stuff, when you think about comedians, when you think about watching a comedian special, the stuff that's funny is the stuff that seems like it relates to real life. I think there's a line in like The Simpsons or something like that, or maybe Family Guy, where they say it's funny because it's true.
Mm-hmm. Like
there's some stuff there that is funny because it's true. Now, obviously, not everything is funny because it's true, but there is some stuff that's funny because it's true. And really, that's what Dave tries to bring. And and I think that if Dave Chappelle was a transgender man, woman, or if he was someone, who identifies with anyone with a different sexual orientation and community, this would have been received a lot differently.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be so mad at him.
Of course.
That's my thought.
Of course.
So,
I agree with you. I don't know. I thought the special was funny. My wife laughed at it. She cried at it, hearing the story at the end about his friend who committed suicide. I mean, there's comedy and tragedy, and
yeah,
I love that he brings both sides to that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, me too. I don't know, man. I'm just always shocked when I hear, that there's a whole new community of people, or like, a whole bunch of people have an issue with the Dave Chappelle like comedy special, because I'm like, dude, it's the same thing. Like he ain't gonna change that much. He's still gonna be funny with whatever he's putting out there.
Yep.
So since you know he's gonna do the same stuff, why watch it? It probably got to the point where there were people who were just like, they heard about it or something like that. Probably got to the point and they were like, you know what? I'm gonna watch it so I could be mad. Because sometimes you watch stuff or you check out people's posts just so you could be mad about it. Or you read, like the Facebook group, messages and all the comments just so you could just be mad about it. So I think that's what happened. I think people just read it or watched it so they could be mad. And then they came,
Just something to complain about.
Yeah.
Something to talk about. Disagree
it's
with.
Sad, man. Sad because it's true.
Wow. It's wild.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So I don't know. Let us know your thoughts out there, people, on the closer. But we really want to know about that. But you know what? As we get close to the close of this show, we want to hear some wild stuff from our voicemail line. So Jay's already told y'all
forgot
how to
about
reach that voicemail line. So Jay, do you want to re-rack that voicemail, and then I'll load up these voicemails for us to listen to?
Re-rack it, people. 3853-BLAKPC or 383-225-2572 is where you can give us a little ring-a-ling and let us know what you think about the closer. Let us know if there's a villain in history from movie, cartoons, cinema, whatever. Or video games. I didn't think about video games. Yeah, video games that you'd like to see an origin story from. Or how did you like Squid Games?
Squid Billy.
I don't know why I keep thinking Squid Billy.
Anybody out there ever watch Squid Billy? That was a funny show, man.
Squid Games. If you watch Squid Games, let us know. Let us know if there's any other TV shows, movies, whatever you've been watching that you think we should check out. Yeah, give us a call. Wonder Years. I've been watching the Wonder Years too. That's turning out to be a pretty good show.
The new Wonder Years,
The new Wonder Years, yeah.
Okay.
So,
Interesting.
anywho, let's get to these voicemails.
All right. It looks like we're gonna have some Lift Chronicles from our Memphis Diva down in Memphis, Kayla. So here we go. 3, 2, 1.
What's up, hashtag Blackout Podcast? This is Memphis Diva 99, aka Kayla. Let's talk about who made the headline news. First of all, Memphis, Tennessee, were aka Collierville, the really nice part of Tennessee, a couple miles from Memphis. The guy shot up Kroger's and he killed himself. Google it. You'll hear all about it. He was disgruntled. Thank God people look at TV and know when to go into the deep freezer section because you can't get through them doors. You know what I'm saying? Kelly Price. They say she was missing. Where you at, Kelly? I still ain't seen your face. I mean, what's really going on? She had COVID and checked herself out of a hospital. Now a lawyer says she's somewhere safe. I think the boyfriend did it. And last but not least, A.J. Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
He passed away. His wife saying, where is the love? First of all, y'all, A.J. Johnson that's the guy that was on Fridays. You know what I'm saying? As a little crackhead thing. But he's had a lot of, movie cred. So I guess what I'm confused about, man, what's up with your life insurance? I mean, I'm just lost. And so she was like, nobody wanted to give money. And she asked for 20 G's on GoFundMe, and she ended up getting 50. But, little mama, what's up with your life insurance policy? I'm just saying. I mean, y'all, this stuff to think about. Okay, then, bye.
That's crazy. I didn't know about the Kroger thing.
Yeah, I'm looking at that now. It's pretty wild.
Then AJ Johnson passed away. Yeah, and there was not a lot of fanfare. I think I listened to Don't Judge Me podcast, and they talked about it too. And I can't remember who it was, Nigel or J Del Negro. One of them didn't know who he was. I think it was Nigel didn't. So, he played a lot of small parts, in shows and movies,
He
whatever.
was, in House Party. Follow the drip.
Follow the drip. Follow the drip. Yeah.
So, yeah, that sucks, man. That's pretty messed up. Hearing about that, then thinking about all the movies and people that he's worked with that I don't know if I should say didn't give money or didn't support, And then I asked myself, were they obligated to support him? Like, let's just say, for instance, Ice Cube or say Master P when he did I Got the Hookup, that had a good following, a good reception, So I'm wondering if they even have a obligation to give money or support him, even though they always vouch for him and stuff like that. I don't know, man. It's wow, but RIP to him.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Sad scenario overall. Here we go. Next up.
Don't go to Miami. Ding, 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 ding. If you go to Miami, you will get sick. COVID is a mother and it is a trick. Don't go to Miami. Hey, y'all, this is Memphis Diva 99. Yeah. Okay, look. How you a drug dealer and you get put out your house for not paying your rent that you rented? And all your stuff is sitting on the curb and all the people in the neighborhood is driving by. There's a computer sitting out there, a dresser, a nice couch, a refrigerator. I mean, my neighbors have a field house. Yeah. The neighborhood, those houses, yeah. Well, they sell marijuana. So. But anyways, I'm still, I don't know, just shooting at Kroger's in Collierville. Man, dude was just shooting people. So, you never know what somebody's going through. I guess that's the premise of this call. If people are dealing with a lot of mental issues right now, COVID, losing their jobs, you just be surprised at what, people got going on mentally. And I'm really kind of like being more aware of stuff and my surroundings and stuff. I ain't going to Kroger. Let me order my food. My groceries. I'll talk to y'all later. Let me see if my neighbor got a cup of sugar.
See if my neighbor got a cup of sugar.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Did you hear about the school shooting here in Texas? Yeah.
No.
This was at Timberview High School, like in South Arlington.
No.
Some kid walked in. He shot, I think he was 18 years old. He shot a 15-year-old 4 times. That kid's in critical condition. They say he's going to survive, but he's going to be, he has a long road ahead of him to recover.
Recover, yeah.
3 other people got injured. Nobody died, but he's going to be charged with like 3 or 4 counts of like aggravated assault.
Yeah.
He's already posted bail, $75,000 bail, $75,000, something like that.
How did it? Oh wait, okay. So the kid that shot everybody got a chance to get bailed out.
Yeah. See, is this the weird thing? The thing I should probably read more into.
Wow.
I'm thinking his parents have money.
Mm-hmm.
Because when he did this, he was on the run, and I think he called the police station and said, "I'm going to turn myself in. I'm coming with my lawyer." I could be completely botching that story up.
Yeah.
So somebody had to be in his ear, maybe his parents or something, say, "You need to go get your lawyer and turn yourself in." So he did that. He posted bail. And they just show video of him like today or yesterday. I guess he had a welcome home party or something like that.
The kid who shot everybody had a welcome home party.
Yeah, I think it was his family members threw that party for him.
See, that's the problem.
Yeah, so
the family is the problem.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I guess from what the rumors have been, from what the news have been saying, he was being bullied by the 15-year-old.
Oh, so it's a different situation.
Supposedly, it's a bully situation that's been going on. So the 15-year-old was supposedly bullying the 18-year-old.
Wow, it's a whole sad situation.
I don't know. Yeah. Hey, there's J. Dale Negro. What's up, brother? So, yeah.
What's up?
I don't know, man. It's wild over here now. So, thankfully, nobody died, but the one kid who got shot up 4 times has a long road ahead of him. So I don't know what's going to happen to him.
This is what I'm trying to figure out. And if this kid had been bullied, I know that that's horrible. And, that's still no justification to come in and shoot somebody, right?
No.
Or shoot up the place. And the fact that he got had an opportunity to get bond and stuff like that. I don't know, man. That's weird. Maybe it's a law because it's a kid. Because if that's a grown up, they probably wouldn't be getting that. Or like J. Del Negro said, the kid's lawyer is a beast. the grandparents are independently wealthy,
okay,
and he could do better than a public defender, probably means that whoever that lawyer is, you know, talk to the judge and talk to the plaintiff's, you know, the plaintiff's lawyer, and was like, hey, you know, we got some money behind this, you know, just let us, you know, let us get some bail or something like that. I don't get it, man. It's crazy. It's sad. It's sad that the situation happened. Sad that it came to that.
yeah,
You know, and it's wild. So I don't know, man. It's wild. But yeah, definitely the family is the problem. That's what it sounds like. So here, next up here. 3, 2, 1.
Yo, it's me, Memphis Diesel. I had to tell y'all this. Look, the other day, okay, I feel like sometimes God gives a sign.
You hear?
I'm shut up, lady. I'm doing Uber on my day out, but sometimes I feel like God will give you signs when you know you're not supposed to be doing stuff. So this particular day, y'all, I wanted some Church's chicken.
Church's
It's
chicken.
bad for me. It's bad for me. I have high blood pressure and diabetes. It's bad for me. It's bad for me, but it's good for me. Shut up, lady. It's bad for me and it's good for me. Anyway, as I'm sitting in traffic at the light, I look to my right. It's this man. He done pulled his pants down. His willy jabba the hut is hanging out.
His willy jabba the
head.
head.
Taking a dump standing up.
Wait, what are you doing standing up?
Taking a dump
I
standing
started
up.
screaming. He started screaming. Cars are blowing. They horn. And I politely was no longer hungry for Church's chicken anymore. All right. God gave me a sign and said, since you're going to be hard-headed and eat this chicken, I'm going to make sure you don't eat no chicken today. Okay, then. I'll talk to y'all later.
Wow. Have you ever seen another grown person in public dropping their drawers and taking a big dookie? Have you ever?
Not to that extent. Not to that extent. I mean, I have on the side of the house, just like Ezel in Friday.
Yeah. Wow.
Only
As a grown up? As a kid?
No, as a kid.
I was about to say.
As a kid, man.
Oh, man. Wow. I'm gonna say that I have seen it. Well, like right after my wife and I got married, a few months after that, we went to San Francisco on like a little weekend trip, like a long weekend trip, right? And it was my first time going. She apparently had been there before, but yeah, it was just a fun little like quick getaway, right? And I just remember us walking back toward our hotel from somewhere because we're getting ready to go out that night. And we'd just been like walking around the city for a bit. And we walked past one of these bus stops, you know, and it was like, I remember this black lady standing there. You could tell she was probably homeless. She was standing there. Jay just bounced out. I don't know what happened to him, but hopefully there we go. You back?
I got you.
You back. There you go. So this lady was standing in this bus stop, and as we passed by, I see her hike her leg up, put her leg up on the handrail, and pull up her skirt. She had no underwear on, and I looked, and as she did that, a huge turd was falling out. I swear it had to be like an 8-inch turd was falling out, and I was like, oh my gosh, look. And so like my wife looked over there, and the lady's like, what you looking at? I'm gonna come after you and cut your ass up. And so I was like, run, and we took off. Thankfully, our hotel was like a block away. We took off, man. I was scared, man. We thought we was about to die from this lady.
That's quite an adventure.
We're gonna throw this poop on us. Yeah. So San Francisco was
I've seen people.
Trip.
I've seen women piss in public. You know, just cop a squat and just let it all flow down. Mm-hmm. Nothing like an 8-inch turd coming out.
Man, that was scary. I had never seen anything like that in my life. Like as a grown up, as a kid, probably yeah. I've seen it.
Yeah, like
But
I've
as a
seen
grown-up,
a lot of things walking down Bourbon Street, New Orleans,
Mm-hmm.
that I wish I didn't see. Saw
Mm-hmm.
a lot of like pissing on the ground, like I just said. Saw a lot of how Memphis Diva described tallywhackers just hanging out. Saw a lot of breasts just flapping and flopping around.
Butts and guts.
Definitely lots of guts.
Yeah.
Lots of guts. Not a lot
Yeah.
of butts, but more guts.
Unfortunate.
More guts than anything. Yeah. So I've seen a lot of it, but 8-inch turd splatting on the ground,
Man,
and
that
then
was
getting
crazy.
threatened.
Yeah, while like half turd, like it was halfway out while she was threatening us.
So she
And
had
I
to
was
pinch it
like-
off.
Oh man, I was like going. We took off. I mean, I look back just before we got into the hotel. She was walking our direction. Thankfully, we got into the hotel doors in time.
Dang, man.
Man, we couldn't get into that elevator fast enough. I was like, as soon as we get in here, I bet she's gonna take off and run after us. But no, thankfully she didn't. That's crazy.
Wow.
All right, here we go. Next up,
Splat.
What up, what up, what
Splat.
up? This is Memphis Diva, 99, a.k.a. Kayla, y'all Memphis correspondent. Y'all, the murder rate right now is somebody getting killed every day, it looks like. I mean, it's crazy. I don't know what's going on. These gun laws, you know, everybody go get a gun and, you know, I don't know. It's crazy. But has anybody checked on Bill Cosby? You know, he's out of the prison, and, you know, I just want to know if anybody's checked on old bruh. How you doing?
I don't think
I
anybody
keep
cares.
reading all this stuff about R. Kelly. Oh, he got discharged, that charge, discharged. They getting him for racketeering and all this stuff. Man, just put him on an island, shit, with the rest of the criminals, like Escape from New York, and put a whole bunch of piranhas around it so nobody can get out. Just put him on an island. Let him be the, I don't know. The man been telling y'all who he was and what type of person he was. The man said he was the Pied Piper of R&B.
Man,
Google the Pied Piper.
It's
Luring
true.
These little girls in.
Now, I'm just saying.
mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. But anyways, I was just thinking about that, you know. I mean, that's all I got to say about that damn R. Kelly. Okay, then I'll talk to y'all later. Let me go and see what my neighbor's doing. I'm going to talk to y'all later. Well, I'll probably call you back when I think of something else.
She literally called us back 3 minutes later. Before we say that, yeah, R. Kelly did say he was the Pied Piper.
He
And
did.
if you think about the story of the Pied Piper luring all the, you know, the rats or whatever it was, the
Hood rats.
hood rat,
Oh, that's what it is a metaphor
the
for.
rats
Hood rats.
in the neighborhood, you know. There you go.
Mm.
Pied Piper. He told you. He told you. And just like Dave Chappelle said in that episode of Chappelle Show, R. Kelly been telling you for a long time. The man been telling on himself for a long time. You know? There you go. Back to Dave Chappelle. He tells the truth sometimes. Here we go. But yeah, she did call us 3 minutes later as you look up and get into a Pied Piper rabbit hole.
Y'all, this Memphis Diva 99. I want some turkey chicken. But I ain't been to the turkey chicken ever since that man pulled his pants down. I can't. But anyway,
That's funny.
I was thinking, y'all be wanting people to give you some input on the show. Y'all, last show, you sure got some purty lips. That's what it sounds like. Purty lips.
Yep.
That's the way them old men be talking in the bar. Hey, baby, you sure got some purty lips. I don't know because I don't be in the bar.
Whatever.
But anyway, how about y'all do a segment, a Guess Who segment, celebrity? Like, guess who this person is? The only man that can wear heels and tight clothes and eyeliner and could have pulled any woman he wanted to?
Prince.
Prince.
Who is?
That's
It gotta be
Prince.
Prince.
A celebrity.
It's the only man I could think of.
Okay. Let me think of another one. Who had two faces and named his son after a bedroom accessory?
A what?
Who is?
Bedroom accessory. Blanket. Michael Jackson.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
let y'all figure it out. Okay, then.
Okay, yeah.
Just thought
That
I'd
was
throw that
good.
in there.
I like
Okay,
that.
Yeah.
We might have to do that. Each of us come up with the person. I can't write it down because my pen don't work. But maybe for next time, we each of us come up with a guess who celebrity. That's pretty good though. Yeah, the first one was Prince. Wear high heels, could pull any woman. The second one had two faces. Two faces. Remember, because he was black, then he turned white. Don't matter if you're black or white. Looking at the man in the mirror, and he named his child after a bedroom accessory, blanket.
Yeah, my blanket.
Oh, my beautiful blanket. Oh, South Park. Man, South Park is the best. I swear, man. You got some funny stuff. South Park go down in history as one of the best shows ever. South Park is like the animated, Midwest / Rocky Mountain version of Dave Chappelle show. I swear.
Now that show, you talk about some controversy in that show.
Oh, man.
In
Every
television, every single episode, and I don't know if they've got as much. Maybe it's just because it's an animated series that they don't get as much backlash. Yeah. Because the writers, the creators are real people. So they have to think of this, and put it out there in the world in a comedic type of form.
Yeah.
Why? Let me just stop. I'll just stop because we.
This is the. Yeah, I mean, but this is the thing though. Like, I don't know. It does. I don't know. South Park came at a time where at this point you're like, okay, it's South Park, right? Like people don't really look at it like they used to,
right?
And it came out before cell phones were really like a thing, and social media was a thing compared to how it is now.
Yeah.
So the fact that Dave Chappelle is putting out Netflix specials now, that that he can, that people can read it and analyze it, and it's like top 10 of Netflix, like all this stuff. It's different. Whereas South Park's still just coming out on Comedy Central. And not everybody is watching Comedy Central like they used to. So it almost gets a pass, almost gets a pass.
Yeah. Wow. Can you think of the most controversial thing you saw on South Park?
Bruh, what? Are you kidding me? First of all, I probably can't name one. I could probably name like 15. But one of them was Lemmy Winks.
Yeah.
That episode about the whole, sticking up a gerbil up a man's butt. Then what is it? There was the one about the Jewish like snipping, the what's it called, like the circumcision, the animal sex orgy,
the Woodland Critter Christmas.
Man, there's
that was the first one that came to mind, the Woodland Critter Christmas.
Dolphinoplasty.
And the Mormon episode.
Oh yeah, exactly. I'm living in that right now, in that area right now. Yeah, man, there's so many things on South Park. Wow. What a time to be alive. Okay.
Yes, it is.
Here we go.
Jolene, please don't take my man, Jolene. Yeah, this Mr. Diva 99, and I just got to listening to this song by Lil Nas X. He redid Dolly Parton's Jolene, where Dolly Parton is singing to this lady, not take a man. Well, okay, I kind of like the song by Lil haters. I kind of like it. Jolene. Now I'm about to go listen to Dolly Parton. Jolene, because I like her version too. But interesting. It's really interesting. That's all I had to say. Kind of growing on me a little bit. Okay, then. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
And she literally called us 3 minutes after that. Have you been seeing the new Lil Nas X commercials with Taco Bell and what's his name?
I saw the one with
Billy Joel.
Elton John.
Elton John. Sorry.
Billy Joel. Like what?
I'm sorry.
I saw that one and I was like, what is he doing? Because at the beginning of the commercial, he's just like, I'm like, what? He's like rocking back and forth like he's doing something. He's doing something.
He was like, getting a stroke on. I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, that
power stroke.
Yeah. So he's doing whatever he's doing. He's in the public side. But what's weird, I read a tweet or something saying how he misses women. I'd have to find that exact quote, but anyway, yeah. So, which makes me kind of question his whole homosexuality.
I think he said he's more bisexual.
Oh, did he?
I think he mentioned that at some point because you listen to that Old Town Road, cheated on my baby. You can go and ask her. And then, he started this whole new thing, as well. So I think he's a little bit of both, right?
It's just, okay, if you go to the extreme of having a video where I want to be all up in the naked men and stuff like that, that make me think you lean more towards one way than the other. Just because you say something along the lines of, you could go and ask her. You ain't had none of that in all these other videos. You giving the devil a lap dance in your video. Yeah. You sliding down a pole.
Yeah.
That make me think you lean more that way than you do
than the other way. Yeah.
And it's not split in half in the middle. So
yeah.
But hey, do what you do, Lil Nas X. You got way more money than any of us.
Unless his baby that he refers to as a her identifies as a her. We need to know these answers. I'm gonna tell you what though. I'm the type of person who likes beats, like the beat and the sound and the melody and the tune in a song, maybe even more than the lyrics of a song. Even though there's some that are pretty dead on, like the one you said. Better choose the right one to pick the kitties up. When Outkast song and UGK, but that we messaged back for about a while back. But he has some song out. Is that the Industry Baby song? I don't know what it is, but that beat's on that song. Like I'm just like, I actually like this beat. Let me see if I can find it real fast.
Okay.
Let me see, because I think that's what it is. Because I hear it, and I'm like, dang, I sort of like that beat, but then I feel bad because it's Lil Nas X. Yeah. Okay, I'm not going to play any more of that because I don't want it to get copyright striked on YouTube. But
you want to throw it back?
It's called. I think that is that Industry Baby song, and I don't care about the lyrics of it. I don't care who's singing. It's Lil Nas X and Jack Harlow. I don't care who's rapping on it. I just like the instrumental. I think that's dope, and I would play that on a video. But then I'd remember it's Lil Nas X and see if people are going to question me, and if I like. If I like wood burning grills, or if I like pellet grills, if I squeeze the juice out of my brisket, or if I don't, if I smack my brisket, or if I don't.
Hey man, sometimes you just gotta smack it.
Which side do you fall on? I don't know. Here we go. Next
That's
up.
Funny.
3, 2, 1.
It's me, Mr. Diva 99, with a left, vertical, stepping, why this couple got in my car. They were a poly couple.
Okay.
Meaning he lived with two women, and they shared him. And I'm eating right now. Sorry. It was very interesting. I knew they was a poly couple because he got in the middle of them, and they were arguing. He's like, we'll settle it when we get home late. And so I was like, those your sisters? And he said, no, these are my girlfriends. And I said, oh, you're in a poly relationship.
She put it out.
He was like, what do you know about a poly relationship? And I was like, I read everything. So it's fascinating. I asked him, do they get upset and jealous? And he said, no, I give them both the same amount of attention. It was real interesting. Yeah, I'm stick with what I know. There ain't no poly. I get bust that slate upside her head. That life is not. I'm not about that life. Ooh, I just seen a man jogging. He got muscles. Oh Lord, let me call y'all back.
Don't hurt yourself.
Is that
Don't hurt yourself now. Don't crash. Trying to see some muscles bouncing.
Did she see her UPS driver? Remember the old UPS delivery man? She used to like.
Was it a UPS guy or Pepsi
FedEx? Guy? It was a delivery driver. I thought it was a UPS or FedEx. I don't know. That's funny. So a poly relationship, hopped in the car. I thought it was just the man and one of the women until she said that he sat in between both of them. Wow. And she put it out there. Oh, you're in a poly relationship.
So what you know about poly?
Mm-hmm. He was probably like, Wow, the way you just said that, that was the voice of your shoe. You got a pretty mouth. That was the voice.
It's like, remember Sling Blade?
Oh, it's Sling Blade. Yeah, it was Sling Blade. Billy Bob, Billy Ray, Billy Bob, whatever.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Sling Blade. For some reason, I always get Sling Blade mixed up with Monsters Ball and try to picture Halle Berry and Sling Blade.
Oh, man.
I'm like, hold on a second. This wasn't the same.
Come on now.
All right. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. All right, here we go. Last one from Memphis Diva.
#Blackout Podcast. Why do I have to tell who I am every time?
I don't know.
It's me, Memphis Diva. Taylor, look, I'm doing the Uber Lyft Chronicles, so I'm not going to call it Uber Lyft Chronicles. I'm going to call it the Bride Share Chronicles, okay?
Okay.
So,
like that.
I pick up this couple.
Gotcha.
We go, I take them to the airport. We talking, tell them to have a safe trip. They're going to a wedding. I'm telling them, man, you get to that wedding and you drink. Couple months, go pick up the next person. My phone keeps ringing from Uber, and I'm like, what the hell is Uber calling me? So I answer the phone, and it's the couple. They're like, my husband left his wallet in the car. So I'm way across town. I said, let me check. Let me pull over. I'm off the clock. Let me check. Y'all have found the man wallet. Now, my question is, if you found the wallet, would you open it up? Now I was taking the wallet back. I opened it up to see what type of folks they were. I didn't take nothing out. Had a bunch of credit cards. The shyster in me, the 20-year-old me, was like,
It's funny.
The real me was like, nah, good always happens to you when you do happen. When you do good. So I took the wallet back to the airport, and he said, thank you so much. And he said, you just don't understand, they wouldn't let me get on a flight. And I said, well, did you miss your flight? He said, I got 20 minutes. I said, get going. Y'all, he just left me a $47 tip.
Wow.
Oh,
Y'all.
nice.
Ain't that sweet?
That is.
Man, that was so nice.
Good happens to you.
Now I'm finna go out and listen to some jazz and drink a little wine.
Do some churches.
So cute.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, whatever. If I meet somebody fine, I don't mind. But anyway, I thought that was nice. I wasn't expecting anything. Okay, then, bye.
There we go. That was the last one. That was that was a couple nights ago. So hopefully you
Cool.
went out, got you a little bit of wine, listened to some jazz, and had some old dude walk up to you and say, "You sure do got a pretty mouth."
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I get your number.
Your number.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, well, I mean, if you were in a similar situation, what would you do? Would you open the wallet at least just to see who it was?
Yep,
Maybe,
I've did it before.
maybe where they're from, stuff like that. Yeah.
I had found a wallet. This was like very long time ago. I don't know how old I was, and I don't even know how my mom spotted this. We were driving on the road, and my mom was like, "Is that a wallet?" She stopped, told me to get out, go get it.
Mm-hmm.
I got it, picked it up, looked inside. There was saw the address and stuff. He had like $7 in his wallet.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that? If I was alone, I probably would have took the $7 and dumped the wallet somewhere.
Mm-hmm. If you're a little kid, yeah.
That was the young teenage me.
Yeah.
But found out the address, drove it back to the person's house, gave it to the lady. I guess that might have been his mom or something. I don't know. And
Mm-hmm.
she's like all scared looking at me, just like, oh,
Like little black kid coming to my door with my son's wallet.
yeah. So I gave it back to her. She's like, oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was expecting. I guess in my head I was expecting a reward.
A reward, yeah.
Yeah, but no, it was just $7.
Yeah, it's not much.
So,
yeah, I'm trying to think, man. As a kid, I probably would have taken the money as a kid, right? Little mischievous kid.
Yeah.
As I grew up, maybe more as a teenager, I probably would not have. Probably would have returned it just the same way. As an adult, yeah, I would have returned it just like Kayla say, good happens to you if you do good.
As an adult, I would have returned it. As a 13 to 19-year-old, I don't know. I've I feel bad for saying this. I've stolen somebody's beeper.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was in college, walked in class, and this was like one of the auditorium classes, like maybe 100 or so students or something. I walked in there and saw somebody's beeper. This is beeper error, not cell phone error.
Wow.
Beeper error on the desk. I was like, oh snap. I looked around. Oh well, it's mine now. Got it. And then like 5 minutes later, the guy runs back in. He's like, anybody see a beeper? I think I left it here.
You're like,
I was like looking. I was like, what color was it? He's like blue. It's like looking. Nah, we just walked in here, man. I don't know. I don't know where is it. So you take it to the little beeper place and you get it reprogrammed or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh man, the young and dumb days where I didn't really care. So yeah,
that's funny.
And it really didn't make any sense to me. It's like, why would I have two beepers? Yeah, so I had two at the time. Didn't need
it's like Kevin Gates, man. You got two phones, you got two beepers.
True.
Back in the day, if you had two beepers,
you were considered a drug.
Either you were rich, or you were a drug dealer. Yeah, a doctor, yeah, or you're a drug dealer. Yeah. So you could have said, "Oh, I'm a doctor."
Yeah, young and dumb, man.
I'm little Doogie Howser.
Little Doogie Howser.
Yeah. Oh man, beepers were the best though, because you could like send people a message to say hello. With a certain code. The problem was you didn't know who that was telling you hello.
Or you could put in, what was it? No, that was on calculators where you could type. No, you could do it here too.
Put high.
Type 9. You do it backwards. You type 531 9009, and that would be boobies. Why did that crack me up? I don't know. But as a young kid, that's what cracked people up when you type those letters and those numbers into a calculator.
And you look at it, you're like, what? Whose number is that?
You flip it
and
upside
you flip
down.
it over.
Boobies.
You know, that was like the first version of send nudes.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what I'm trying to say?
That was it. But how would they send them? Digitally?
There's no way.
A parentheses, a period, a parenthesis, close parentheses.
Yes. That would have been the only way.
You can't do that on beepers.
No, you can do. Yeah, you can do symbols on there. Yeah, man. Beepers were interesting. I had one of those beepers that was blue as well, and it had sort of like a clearish case, so you could like see
that's the one
hands.
I had. That's the one I had.
It's the best one.
I stole. I borrowed.
It's the one you
got.
got.
That's the one I found.
I remember initially my parents were like, "Why you need a beeper?" You know, and I was like,
holes.
Yes, that's what I told. You know, like so you can touch me, blah blah, and they're like, "Okay, yeah, we'll get you a beeper. That's fine." And I don't know. I had that beeper for I don't even know how long.
Your kids have cell phones?
My son does because he, you know, walks and all that stuff to school and back.
Okay.
My daughter does not. She still has like one of our old phones that's based like a mini iPad. That's all she has.
So she can't like call or text or anything like
she
that.
Can't make calls, but I found it interesting. If it's somebody with an iPhone, she could actually text them back and forth.
Okay.
Because through like iMessage.
Yeah, because my oldest has a friend in 6th grade. They're both in 6th grade. His friend has a phone. His friend is always texting my phone.
Oh, for the kid,
yeah. So it's like I don't even have access to my phone a lot of the time, especially on the weekends, because his friend is always like texting him saying, "Hey, you want to play? What is that game? Fortnite? You want to play Minecraft?" So they'll hop on there, and then of course they'll be using my phone to talk back and forth. It's just sometimes it's annoying, and then I think to myself, should I get this kid a phone for Christmas? Does he need a phone? He doesn't need a phone. I didn't have a phone at 11 years old, 12 years old. He could wait like 6 more years. Yeah,
we waited till our son was 13. You know, I think that was just sort of like the rule that we had like set up. You know, wait till you're 13. And even though he was like at 11 and 12, like, I really need a phone, or he was doing the same thing, you know, messaging his friends back and forth, you know, through our phones. You know, we made him wait. Daughter's the same way. So we have this app called Marco Polo. And so my daughter has a couple little friends that Marco Polo her back and forth. My wife doesn't want to get the app, but I have it so I can communicate with you, communicate with my other family members, like little random quick videos. And some random friends, you know, through Marco Polo. Right. So little girls will Marco Polo.
Oh man!
And then I have to show it to Savannah. Yeah. So
you quickly delete it?
What do you mean? Like
can
delete
you
the chat?
Can
you can delete the chat.
Because I don't know how it works if it's like, oh, these little girls texting this grown ass man.
Well, no, it's just through Marco Polo. It's a little video, so I'll just give it to Savannah. The other thing is we have an iPad, like an older iPad, and the Marco Polos come through there. So most of the time, you know, I'll just be like, hey, such and such Marco Polo'd you, and she'll get the iPad and be Marco Poloing them for hours.
Gotcha.
The problem is the notifications will pop up on my phone because the Marco Polo is set up, you know, with my account. So I'll just delete them or whatever, you know, after they're done. Because, it's just weird. But I know when it's coming through, one of them is coming through from the girl's mom's account. And so I know who that's for. So it's like, hey, Savannah, here's such and such. And the other one, the little girl actually has a cell phone. So she's Marco Poloing. And it's weird because I think she's like a homeschool kid. So she'll Marco Polo like 8:30 in the morning, right? During like a Tuesday. And I'm like, you know, my daughter's in school. But I won't say anything. I'll just wait, you know, and then like give it to her later. I'm like, you know, this girl Marco Polo'd you this morning. Look at it. So I'll be happy when she has her own phone to do that. But then again, maybe I won't be happy because she'll probably always be on her phone, you know, just like my son is on his phone.
Yeah.
But I say, hey, you know, next time your kiddo plays Minecraft, you know, my son always plays Minecraft, always. And he has another little cousin in Houston that he plays with from time to time that's like little. He's like, how old is Cash? He's like 7, 8. So, you know, Jackson needs a little older kid to play with every now and then too. So I think it'll be cool. He doesn't like Fortnite anymore. He hates it. honestly.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, even though we've spent way too much money on Fortnite bucks, V-Bucks, he doesn't like it anymore. Remember, you can tell your kid, hey, one day you're not going to like this game. He's like, no, I'll always love it. Wrong.
Dude, it's like they got this. They have like no idea what we used to have to do back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have 1 or 2 games, and then bam, we'd have to wait till the weekend, a couple weeks to go to the video store to rent a Nintendo game.
Rent a new one. Yep.
And
remember when rentals was only one night?
Yeah. So you had to make sure you was playing that and got your money's I ain't gonna say your money's worth, but make
$7
sure you got your $7 worth.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you beat it that night. Overheat your Nintendo.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So yeah, man. But now they got a Nintendo Switch, and they have a whole collection of Super Nintendo games, regular Nintendo games that they're like, this is boring. I need a new game.
Oh man,
it's like, bro, y'all got all these games at your disposal, 2-player games at that I would have like killed for at your age.
I swear, you have the whole catalog. You just download it right now. I was gonna say,
these old people games.
Yeah, does your kid play Minecraft on the Xbox, or does he play it on the Switch?
They used to play it on the Xbox, but now they play it mostly on Switch.
More to the Switch. Okay.
Yeah.
We have it on both. So we have to let us know.
Xbox 360, I should say.
Oh, okay, 360.
Yeah.
Maybe
nobody touches my Xbox One.
Yeah.
Except for me.
All right.
Except for me.
You and the dust. Yeah, man. We really still need to get you on PUBG. We need a 4th. Bro. And we play on Saturdays now. Randomly, we play on some random weekdays. Just for like an hour or 2. We don't play on Sunday nights like we did as much.
I hadn't even powered up my Xbox in like
a long time, huh?
I don't even know. Yeah. I don't know. And
when I did,
I just played a old game like what did I play? Mirror's Edge, and that was it.
Nice.
I didn't even beat Red Dead Redemption yet.
No, neither me. It's still on there.
It's on there, and I'm like, I don't like this game anymore.
Yeah.
I'm getting bored with it,
Yeah.
So
it's a long game. That's a long game.
It is. It is.
Yeah. So, a game that I just saw, I've seen a bunch of previews for that's not coming out until like, I don't know, late in or mid 2022 is Gran Turismo.
Oh, is that coming out?
Number 7. If there's any game or whatever it is, there's any game that I would switch to PlayStation 4, it would be Gran Turismo.
That would be it. And it's fun. It's crazy, man, because I tell people that's the game that taught me how to drive.
Is it really?
It is. Like everybody's taking driving classes and stuff. I took the written driving class, like teaches you all the book stuff, but I never took a regular get in a car with an instructor. Never did that. It was always Gran Turismo that kind of taught me the basics, the mechanics, because the mechanics in the game are so similar to actual cars, particular cars, that you could kind of figure out what to do in a situation, with a regular car. And I figure, I guess I'm one of the rare people that figured it out, connecting them to real life and video game. So I love that game.
Yeah, the game is so pretty. It's always been so pretty. And I know that Xbox has Forza, which actually is a really good game.
That's real good too.
It just doesn't, for some reason, I think Gran Turismo has put it out there, has dropped the gauntlet from the beginning, and no one has ever been able to live up to that. You had Need for Speed, which actually got close. You have Forza, which has tried on the last 2 versions.
I think Forza is the closest.
That's the closest.
Was it Project Gotham?
I can't remember.
Yeah,
that was a good game too.
Yeah, but what you said, Forza and Grid are like the 2 that I think I could compare mostly to Gran Turismo as far as like driving mechanics and simulation wise. You know what?
I'm trying to think. I have one of those Raspberry Pis. I wonder if I could get a PS4 emulator for it, and see if I can download Gran Turismo, even though it would be like gigs. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. You'd have to get a big memory card, a big SD card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had my
feel that.
Raspberry Pi, and it's just
Mine's
it reset
dusty.
itself. It
Really?
reset itself somehow, and I don't have any of my games anymore.
Oh wow.
And then, of course, it's like, I got this mini NES, and then I just put like 100+ games on there. So it's like, I don't even need my Raspberry Pi. But then, now that you say the whole PS5 thing is like, or PS4, like, dang, I sure do wish I could play a Super Street Fighter or Street Fighter 5 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So
lots of good games. Yeah, I might have to figure out if I can do that. I haven't touched my Raspberry Pi in a couple years, so
dang.
last time I touched it, we were moving to this house. So, you know.
Oh boy, we are getting long on this call.
Oh dang, I didn't know that.
It's like,
yeah,
well over. We're just having fun talking about random stuff.
Yes, indeed. Well, on that note, because we've loved talking to each other so much, let's go ahead and tap our love box with just a couple quips, and then we're gonna get up out of here.
Just a couple quips.
Jay cues the music, and we talk about tapping your love box.
Tapping your love box.
Yeah, wow. If you've ever, been walking, driving, bicycling down the street, looked over and saw a man or woman taking a dump,
tap your
and you were shocked and all, tap your love box. Tapping it.
If you could play any game in the Squid Games, and it would be hide and go get it, because you know you'd be the victor. If anybody knows hide and go get it, tap your love box.
Hide and go get it. That's funny.
That would be that could possibly get you canceled nowadays. That could get you in an R. Kelly type of situation, Bill Cosby situation.
Yeah, you would definitely get. Yeah, and speaking of Bill Cosby, Kayla was asking if I checked on Bill Cosby. Don't nobody care about Bill Cosby right now. Don't nobody care about him. They ain't gonna care at all, because he out there, that's one of them things.
Eating a lot of pudding.
If you, yes, he is. If you ever walked up to a girl and say, "You sure do got a pretty mouth," tap your love box and rethink your life choices.
Purdy, very purdy.
Purdy
mouth. All right. Wow. If you, I have nothing. I'm like all out of love boxes to tap, because
I got some stuff. I got some random stuff, but you know what, man? If you're happy that your New York Giants finally beat the Saints after trying so many years in a row last week, tap your love box.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
If your team stood up strong this season, just for the first game, you like, they did that there, right? This is gonna be a breeze. With a breeze. Tap your love box.
It's all right. Season's not over. Season's not over. Anything could happen.
Anything happen.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. The audience was not bullied. It was drilled. Anyway, that's for the story, people. I ain't going.
If you're talking to your cousin on the other side of StreamYard right now, and he sounds like a robot, tap your love box.
Yeah, because they'd be acting that way.
Yeah, they'd be acting like that. Anyway, yeah, man. If you ever sent very sketchy messages through pagers to your friends and girlfriends or boyfriends, tap your love box.
Yeah. If you ever found anything and somebody came back looking for it, and you was pretending like, I didn't find anything. Talking about, I'll help you look for it, but I don't see it. Tap your love box.
Yep. Tap your love box. Yep. Yeah. So on that note, we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here, because it's been a little bit of a minute, and I don't have anything else. We're stretching this, but hey, let us know who you want for your villain origin story. Like Jay said, let us know what Squid Game you would play. Let us know what you think about Dave Chappelle's The Closer. And then, next week we'll try to come back with a Guess Who Celebrity Edition. And, on that note, Jay, tell the people where they can find us, and they can smack their meat, squeeze their juice.
Whoa. Twitter and Instagram, #Blackout Pod is where you can find us. All your podcast streaming apps. You could check us out there. Definitely check us out Sunday mornings sometimes on YouTube, whenever we do stream. Hashtag blackoutpod@gmail.com, where you can email us stuff, email us your stories, email us whatever you want to. Hit us up 3853-BLAKPC or 385-325-2572. Give us a little call. Tell us what's on your mind. Definitely hit up hooksrubs.com so you can sprinkle all over your meat before you squeeze it and watch that juice squirt out. Skeet out the sides.
Squirtski.
You know, you should probably do. No, you probably won't do it, but you should probably do a brisket squeezing and then play Lil Jon and Yin Yang Twins. Get low.
Now I would do that, but I just basically did that other video, so I would be canceling myself all over again, and telling my wife to just go ahead and leave me because I squeezed my meat. I don't know if I could do that, but you could do that. But that is hilarious. That's a great idea.
Yeah,
I should do that. I should do that video to somebody else doing it, and be like, leave him.
Just for the compilation of meat squeezing.
Yeah. Oh, skeet. Yeah, that's actually really funny. I like that.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. All right. On that note, I'm blacking out, y'all.
Blacking out, folks.
Wow.
Peace. Whew.
Dang. You know, when you get onto this thing, you just start talking. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, we're still talking on YouTube too. Deuces YouTube.
And we're gonna end the broadcast. Peace.